Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Bold and the Beautiful week of July 22. Hope the Rulebreaker, Sheila fears the worst, Deacon's dilemma. The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B spoilers for the week of July 22 to 26 reveal that Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline Massinswood, will stand her ground after laying down the law to Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Although Steffi will spell out clear rules for Hope to follow regarding hope for the future and John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, rules were made to be broken, at least on soaps. Hope will no doubt throw Steffi's boundaries right out the window and do whatever she wants anyway. Now that Hope has let Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, go, it looks like she'll become increasingly drawn to Finn and the idea of pursuing him. That could lead to major trouble in Steffi and Finn's marriage down the road. Hope's feud with Steffi will also spiral out of control in the coming episodes, so there's plenty of drama brewing on the CBS soap. In the meantime, Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, may try to distract Hope by asking for help with Brooke's bedroom relaunch. That'll be happening in Monte Carlo before you know it, so Brooke may argue that she needs all hands on deck. In reality, Brooke will mainly just want to keep Hope's attention off Finn, but that's surely not going to work. Of course, we should also talk about the Il Giardino mystery and all the suspicions swirling around the two fatalities that happened there. Sheila Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, will find herself in hot water that just keeps getting hotter. There's no way Sheila is actually guilty since the show's got so many characters hurling accusations at her. B&B is just trying to make Sheila a victim and distract fans from the real culprit that'll ultimately be revealed. Nevertheless, Sheila will fear the worst as the evidence against her potentially starts to mount. You can be sure Sheila will worry she's going to lose her freedom permanently for crimes she's not responsible for. That brings us to Deacon Sharp's sine qua non dilemma. Will Deacon stand by his wife no matter how bad things look? Deacon is usually Sheila's biggest cheerleader and truly believes she's a changed person. Will Deacon let all the naysayers influence his opinion or prove he's got total faith in Sheila's innocence? Whatever the case, Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, will remain on edge along with other suspects in this unit. Our predictions point to new details emerging about Tom Starr, Clayt Howard, and Paul Hollister's Holliso Chambers. Awful outcomes soon, so stick with us for updates on all the shockers. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say the week of July 22 to 26 will bring some unexpected developments, so stay tuned for all the wild news and heated confrontations. The sun dipped below the Los Angeles skyline, casting long shadows over the Forrester Creations building. Inside, the tension was palpable. The week of July 22 was shaping up to be one of the most tumultuous yet for the Forrester clan and their associates. Hope Logan sat in her office, staring at a document on her desk. Her usually serene face was marred by a frown. She was about to break one of the most important rules she had always upheld: truth and transparency. For the sake of her family and her sanity, she felt compelled to cross a line she never thought she would. Across town, in a dimly lit room, Sheila Carter was pacing back and forth. Her eyes darted nervously to the door every few seconds. Sheila had always been a master manipulator, but this time she feared she might have pushed things too far. The walls were closing in, and she could sense that her past was about to catch up with her in the worst possible way. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp found himself torn between loyalty and love. His relationship with Sheila had always been a complicated dance, but now it was threatening to spiral out of control. Deacon's dilemma was simple yet excruciating: protect Sheila and risk everything, or turn his back on her and lose the one person who had stood by him through thick and thin. ###Hope the Rulebreaker. Hope had always prided herself on being a beacon of integrity within the Forrester family. But as she read through the papers in front of her, she knew she was about to betray that very principle. The document contained information that could potentially destroy someone she cared about, yet keeping it a secret felt like an equally colossal betrayal. The information pertained to Thomas Forrester, her on-again, off-again lover. Thomas had been working tirelessly to prove he had changed, but this document suggested otherwise. It detailed a shady deal he had been involved in years ago, a deal that, if exposed, could ruin his career and possibly land him in jail. Hope's hands trembled as she weighed her options. Should she confront Thomas and risk pushing him back into his old, destructive ways? Or should she bury the secret and pray that it never came to light? She glanced at a photo of her daughter, Beth, on her desk and felt a pang of guilt. What kind of example was she setting for her child if she chose to lie? In the end, Hope made a decision that would haunt her for weeks to come. She locked the document in her desk drawer, choosing to keep Thomas secret for now. It was a decision born out of love and fear, but it marked the beginning of Hope Logan's descent into rule-breaking and deception. Sheila fears the worst. Sheila Carter's heart raced as she continued her relentless pacing. The room felt like a prison, with each shadow on the wall reminding her of the mistakes she had made. She knew that if anyone discovered the truth about her involvement in the recent scandal at Forrester Creations, she would be finished. Sheila had always been a master of deception, but even she couldn't predict every twist and turn. Her latest scheme had involved manipulating key players within the Forrester family to secure her own interests. But now, with the walls closing in, she realized she might have pushed too far. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. Sheila froze, her breath caught in her throat. She slowly opened the door to find Deacon standing there, his face a mask of concern. "We need to talk," he said, stepping inside. Sheila closed the door behind him, her mind racing. She had always trusted Deacon, but even that trust had its limits. Was he here to support her, or was he about to betray her? Deacon's dilemma. Deacon Sharp stood in Sheila's apartment, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. He had always been a man who lived by his own rules, but now he was facing a choice that could change everything. "I know what you did, Sheila," Deacon said, his voice low and steady. Sheila's eyes widened, but she remained silent, waiting for him to continue. "I don't know how you managed to keep this hidden for so long, but it's only a matter of time before someone finds out. You need to come clean or we're both going down." Sheila's face hardened. "You don't understand, Deacon. If the truth comes out, I'll lose everything. I can't let that happen." Deacon took a step closer, his eyes filled with a mix of frustration and pity. "And what about me? Do you think I want to go down with you? We need to find a way out of this, together." Sheila looked away, her mind racing. She had always been able to manipulate those around her, but Deacon was different. He was the one person who had always seen through her lies, yet still cared for her. "All right," she said finally, her voice barely a whisper. "What do you suggest?" Deacon sighed, relieved that she was willing to listen. "We need to get ahead of this. If we can find a way to spin the story in our favor."